Hey y'all, what is up? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. It really just depends if you are new here or not. If you're not new, you're probably wondering where the fuck have you been? It's been a few days, Revoke. I've had allergies and my ear is still like, it's stuffy. I don't know how to describe it. I feel like shit is what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm pretty sure the last video I did on this channel was where we covered that Shane documentary. We talked about Katie Morton. Wow, there's other videos I have that I have not uploaded for you guys. I'm so sorry about that. But Katie Morton, okay, that was the last video we did. Alright, I just turned the fan off, so the noise should be like a little bit better in the background, okay? So, in that documentary, he pulled up some clips of Eugenia Cooney from her You Now days, some Twitch clips, just throwing some random clips in there for like the dramatic effect of it. And one of the clips in particular was, well, there was a few, let's be real. But there was a few clips where he mentioned her family. And it was clips of her dad, like, coming into her room because she was saying, like, how her dad loved her and was so, like, he's supportive of her, whatever. So, it shows her dad, like, entering the room and she's talking to him casually. But then there was this other clip where he kind of, like, reached for her monitor and was doing, like, the most extra shit. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I haven't seen other people address this yet, so I was like, I want to address it, I'm going to talk about it. And this might be old news, because again, this clip is from You Now. Y'all might have seen it before. I haven't. That was my first time. That's why I'm here, okay? To be fair, I did watch it during that Shane Dawson documentary, but this was back in 2019. I forgot. Okay, so I totally forgot that this even existed, so watching it again makes it new to me, okay? So I was like, I want to talk about this because since that documentary came out with Shane Dawson about Eugenia Cooney, her family, her situation, a lot of information has been found out about not just the mom, but the dad also, and there's really traumatic history between the two of them. This is all allegedly for legal reasons. I just want to be very clear about that. I'm not saying any of this is true information, again, for legal reasons, but it's out there on the internet, and, well, the states don't lie when they do their reports, so it is what it is. Anyways, allegedly. I made videos in the past about this situation. I talked about the dad's DUIs, I talked about his rocky history with alcohol, and also talked about a situation between him and Deb. And I'm pretty sure this was like information nobody's talked about before, because I have searched and searched and searched because I wanted answers. I wanted to know what the hell was going on, right? I feel like we all want to know. As a content creator who covers the situations, I was like, I need to know almost, like, what the hell happened, what's going on, why does Deb act the way that Deb does, why is Deb Deb, basically, and why does Deb and Eugenia Cooney seem to be trauma bonded and extremely codependent on one another. Time and time again, we've seen examples of the codependency between the two of them, and it's pretty uncomfortable to watch just looking at it, knowing it's coming from a mother and daughter perspective. A lot of y'all have a lot of questions about it as well that we've talked about, we've answered some, we've speculated on some. And this video is going to be another video just kind of speculating about what could potentially be going on. Now, why I found this clip so disturbing, and yes, I'm going to play it in just a minute, I just feel like context is very important for situations like this. Why the clip is so disturbing to me, okay, is because we have that information out there that the dad has had violent episodes in the past. Again, very disturbing ones, and there was actually a newspaper article on it around the time, and it checked out. It was for their address. It was Kevin and Deborah Cooney, and it was a very violent episode where Kevin attempted, anyways, before we were interrupted, I was talking about how it was a violent episode where Kevin Cooney attempted to, again, allegedly, unalive Deborah. It was a very, like I said, violent episode. I made videos about this about 4 months ago. I don't want to get too into the details because I don't want this video to get demonetized. With that being said, we're going to take a look at this clip, and just given the context of knowing Kevin Cooney has struggled with alcohol abuse and knowing that he also has had violent tendencies in the past, this clip makes me pretty uncomfortable.
Wait, where's Carson? I told you. What are you doing? No, don't do that. What are you doing? You're not on camera. Alright, guys. Well, I'm really sorry. I'm gonna go, so...
Hold on. Wait a minute. Some of y'all might be like, but Revoke? You wasted our fucking time. That was like a 10-second clip. Why are we here? Give me a second to explain. Now, there's a few reasons why I wanted to talk about this. Mostly what we kind of touched on at the very beginning, how he has had violent tendencies in the past and also struggled with alcohol abuse. Again, allegedly. And I figured if anybody out there in this world could potentially find the rest of that clip for me, it would be y'all, the internet detectives. Now, that was a clip of her streaming from back in her days, and she said a name that I don't particularly know of. I don't remember a Carson being in her life, but like who knows, like we're literally just people on the internet. We really don't know what's going on behind closed doors or who they know or whatever. It's none of our business, but I found it interesting. Also, I just want to simply say it seemed to be like the dad, of course, does not like to be on camera. He wants to stay very private. He has a very high end job, very lucrative job. So I feel like to the extent of what he does, of course he wants privacy and doesn't want to be blasted all over the internet, especially with his daughter being Eugenia Cooney, and very problematic. Not just from the things that she has done in the past, but of course because of her health status. I feel like that is one of the biggest reasons why he tries to stay away from the situation. Of course, we know that he's there, he's been present during a few videos, but for the majority of it, he's just like not there a lot, and when he is there, he wants nothing to do with the content. Now, I wanted to talk about this because I feel like, and this has been something that we've talked about and speculated on in the past, something had to have happened at home for Eugenia to be the way that she is. Just my opinion. Y'all can form your own, y'all don't have to agree with me, but I feel like a lot of the times when you live with something like this, it stems from some form of trauma, or it gives you control over something when everything else seems uncontrollable. It gives you some form of control. And in my opinion, again, I feel like maybe Eugenia Cooney started this thinking this was her escapism, this was her one solid thing that she can control about herself in an environment where nothing is in her control and always out of her hands. Y'all excuse that random sound, that was my ice maker. We shut her off for the rest of the video, don't worry. Now, I've mentioned in the past how Deb gets a lot of the blame, and I do agree with this as well. I feel like Deb definitely should be under fire for this situation. I understand Eugenia's an adult. She has to want to get help for herself, and she needs intensive therapy, in my opinion, to really get to the bottom of everything that's happened in the past for her, and also, again, whatever caused this disorder for her. But I also feel like while Deb is to blame, again, this happened to Eugenia while she was still a teenager. So yes, she's an adult now, but I feel like a lot of people overlook the fact that this has been going on since she was a kid, a child, under Deb's care. But I don't think that Deb should be solely the person to blame. I feel like we should also be taking a further look at the dad and just trying to be like, what the fuck? Like, how? Now, just because the dad isn't active in these videos of hers or active on her live streams or was even active on really any video in the past, there's been a few moments, again, where he'll pop in the room and say something, or you can just catch some commentary from him in the background. We know he's been there at some point. So I just find it kind of crazy how, sir, just because you haven't put yourself on the internet does not mean that you are not to blame at all for the situation. And I feel like Eugenia as well, this is something I've talked about on and off in the past. Again, this is like a speculation channel, so if y'all are not here for that, click away and find somebody else who's just going to be giving their own little thoughts and opinions without all the speculation. But I want to talk about this. And I've talked about this in a video prior to the Katie Morton one. It was like the last video I made about Eugenia Cooney, where I feel like she purposefully documented certain things on camera and purposefully left in certain arguments in the background just to kind of have that as evidence and out there to the world. It is not all peaceful behind closed doors. And again, if you're new here or if you're fairly new and you're not used to the prior content I've done, or if you haven't seen it, I do highly encourage y'all to go check it out, because I feel like for that, it would just add all the necessary context that y'all would need to understand where I'm coming from with this video. And again, this was from about 4 months ago, so y'all can scroll back and timestamp on my channel and find the 2-3 videos I made about the dad talking about him. Just very quickly, do y'all remember that phone call she did with her dad? Again, this was back from her days, where she thought it would be a funny thing to prank call people, and she wanted to call her dad and tell him as a prank that she was pregnant, but it wasn't just with any random person, it was actually his baby. And as disturbing and disgusting as that is as a joke and an alleged prank, he didn't deny it. He strictly said, "Aren't you with your mother?" What hospital are you going to? How are you in New York? I thought you were with your mother. You know what I mean? Like, just casually going on in a conversation with her without being like, that's absolutely disgusting and impossible. And again, I know that we've gone on some side quests during this video. I know we've talked about some things on the side of that clip that we just watched a few minutes ago about the dad, like, grabbing at her cameras and stuff. And she's like, no, like, stop, I'll just stop the stream. But I feel like the more context that we have and the more things that we see that come out about the family as far as, like, the mom and the dad goes, it always kind of puts things into a further pit of perspective. And now, I don't know, y'all. I just really wanted to get y'all's thoughts and opinions. This video was so sloppy, but again, I'm not a professional, okay? I don't claim to be a good YouTuber or anything. I genuinely just get on here and I'm like, let me spill all these, like, random-ass thoughts in my brain and just get y'all's opinions on it, and that's, like, strictly what we did today. I just wanted to sit down and kind of, like, spill with you guys what I was thinking. Now, to wrap out this video, there's one point I really want to touch on very quickly, and that is something that I've talked about in the past, and this was on and off for a while. Her streaming. And I've said this before about the family being, like, super fucking unstable and, like, just her not being comfortable, in my opinion, in certain clips around the dad and the mom even and the brother. So I feel like streaming in a way for her was, like, kind of like how she almost protected herself. And I've said maybe that's why she goes live as often as she does, as long as she does. To kind of have that as almost like a, again, escapism from her family, but also almost like a form of protection. So it's kind of almost like if they know she's live streaming where whatever happens in that household, it's not like they can go back and edit it out of the video. It's live for thousands of people, and there's probably a good handful of people in those thousands that are screen recording whatever she's doing during that live. So if something would happen to her on stream, the world would know about it. Like, we would know, okay, this is what's been going on, or like, okay, we thought that this was going on, but this is what's going on. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? Again, I'm pretty sick, so my brain's, like, more jumbled than it typically is. Excuse me, please, for how I'm explaining stuff, but I hope y'all are, like, getting what I'm trying to get at. Anyways, this video was very messy and very much all over the place. This was probably one of the worst videos I've ever done on this channel, but I've been away, I've been sick. I'm feeling a little bit better today, but still, like, pretty much like shit. So I wanted to just talk to you guys, okay? I'm getting my voice again. So I was like, you know what? Let's just, like, sit down and have a pretty chill conversation. Just get some thoughts out there. See what y'all think about it. We'll go from there. That's the kind of video that this was. But also, I really wanted to share that clip with you guys. And I wanted to know if y'all could find, like, the longer version of that clip, because I want more context. There are a handful of videos I plan on doing. There's one I'm in the works of. It's going to be a pretty long video. But also, I want to just make another, like, kind of updated documentary type video about the situation, because since I did the very last one, we have more information on the dad, we know more about the mother, and just a tad bit more about the brother. So I feel like it would be an interesting video to update and add all this new context and information that we have. I feel like in any situation, and not just for me, but I'm sure for y'all too, when you learn new information, your opinion changes from the opinion you once had on the subject or situation. So with new information I've had, my opinion has definitely changed a lot, and since that last video I made about it, I've even said things in there that I don't agree with anymore because my opinion has changed so much based on the new information that we have. So I feel like it would just be fun to go back into a video like that and just talk about everything that we know so far and try to put some more points together. But if what I was saying had any truth to it about Eugenia using a live stream as kind of like her safety mechanism in that household to protect herself from whatever the hell was going on behind closed doors, who knows what the fuck this Missy ma'am is going through not being on live stream. And again, she's not getting paid to do TikTok, so she's not doing TikTok. She's been in Jeffrey's live streams allegedly because she's donated. She's chatted a few times in his comment sections. But just because there's been some evidence of her being there does not mean that she's okay, especially health-wise, but more so okay in the environment that she's in without being on camera. Who knows what the hell has been going on. But I'm gonna wrap this up here. I'm still, like I said, fairly sick. I feel like shit. I have been staring at a can of soup this entire video. Like, I will get to you so soon. I'm gonna eat some soup. just chow down and try to feel better. I have been binging Netflix like you would not fucking believe. Also, a lot of y'all in the past have mentioned how sick I get, how often, like once a month I get like, I feel like dying sick. It's always allergies or like something to do along those lines, and I just like crash. I feel like shit. So, oh, also, I like I swelled up before from allergies. Like, they got so fucking bad. I was given a fucking EpiPen, and I was like, we're really doing this. Like, this is how bad I've like actually gotten. So I've been talking to my doctor about like figuring out why. Just why? Why do I suffer? I need to know. So I'm in the works of that. Also, I have a genetic mutation that's very fucking fun. It looks like the motherfucker gene. It's the MTHFR genetic mutation, and when I seen that, I was like, are you calling me a motherfucker right now? But it's just a genetic mutation that's very fun. I've learned that recently. But yeah, we're gonna try to get more into my body and try to figure out like what's going on with her. But with that being said, I wanted to just make this video, talk to you guys for a minute, update you guys about where the fuck I've been, what the fuck I've been doing. Also, just to talk about this clip too, because it caught my attention and I knew I wanted to make a video about it, and I knew the video was going to be messy. So I figured, let's just get it out of the way. Let's just talk. Let's do it. And we did. So yeah, I want to know y'all's thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next damn video, which probably won't be about Eugenia Cooney. I will have other content in the meantime, but I definitely do plan to do an updated documentary with all the information that we've learned now. So I will be starting that tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm going to eat some fucking soup because I'm so excited about that. And I will catch you in the next damn video. Alright, bye.